Oh, no sound. All right. I need to do a better job of checking through these things before I start streaming. So if you lost me while I was just talking to myself for a minute, um, this is our logo tee that we are selling right now on our indie merch store to help fund the Nomad fundraiser. 75% of the profits are going to be going to that fundraiser, which is helping out industry folks that have lost their source of income due to the coronavirus. So if you've got the means, I know, again, we've all got some tough times going on right now, but if you've got the means, definitely head over to our indie merch store. Link is right here. You can see it right there. And pick one of those shirts up, and once they start shipping out after indie merch, that their warehouse is done being quarantined, we will start getting some shirts out to you guys, and I look forward to seeing some of you guys from a distance wearing some of our logo tees. Cool. So some other news. So I had been kind of contemplating, continuing to call this Abiotic Live, thinking about doing something completely separate and different with it, and converting this into a podcast as well. So definitely want to stick to the live stream format. I really dig doing the live streams, but I am going to have the audio for this stuff up on all live or up on all podcasting, wherever podcasts are available. So Spotify and Apple and all that good stuff. So had been kind of contemplating a name for the last couple days. So if you're watching, you're getting the first big announcement. So starting on Wednesday, we will be changing all of the formatting to the Big Shred Podcast. So that'll be starting up on Wednesday. I'll be doing a stream every Wednesday. And this week, we've actually have some really cool guests coming up. We've got Scott Carstairs of Fallujah. So going to do a kind of a continuation on our interview today with the Fallujah homies. And then Dan DeFonts of Continental Touring, sorry, Dan, and Unique Leader Records. So if you, and he's actually a booking agent, he works for a label. So we'll be able to, get some real good insight from him on how it's affecting the industry in that regard from someone who works on that side of things. All right, great. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and welcome let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're probably the sixth guest, I think, Andrew. And we're doing just a solo stream with you today. So everybody, please welcome my friend Andrew Baird. What's going on, man?
How you doing, man? Long time no see.
Doing well. Yeah, I know, right? It's been a long time since I seen you in person. Well, not that long. I saw you guys a couple of times last year. Luckily, I was able to see you on the Whitechapel tour. So caught you guys in Worcester on the Whitechapel tour.
Okay.
And I caught you guys on the Beyond Curation tour too. So had a nice little treat of getting me some Fallujah a couple of times last year.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad you got to come and hang out and be homies with everybody. As I understand, I'm pretty sure you knew like everybody on the Beyond Creation tour, so it was just like homie fest the whole time. So.
Yeah, seriously. I didn't know the Beyond Creation guys actually. So
You're not? Okay.
No. So it was cool getting to meet them, and it was crazy. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but oh man, his name is leaving me now for some reason. But as soon as we say it, I'm gonna feel like an asshole. But the guitar player from Obscura was there randomly. Remember? That he was like,
oh, that's right. That night was really rainy, right?
Mhm.
We were just hanging out, and I think we were coming to like the very tail end of the tour or something like that,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. But yeah, what a crazy night. That was fun. We were all like bunched up in the like a super small like backstage room, and it smelled like Chinese food or something like that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a good time, man. That tour in general. I think that day specifically we like ran like really late or something like that, but still ended up making the show in time to get gear on and like doing it up. You know what I'm saying? Fallujah style.
Yeah, and it was a weekday in Boston, and it was like packed. So it was tight to see just like pretty much like all tech. I mean, you guys obviously getting more melodic, and I think we're kind of the stick out band on that tour, which must have been rad. But just to see folks, it feels like it was forever ago now. like people coming going to shows and like being in a room full of people, you know.
Um, we just came back from doing like a small little Mexico run, just what seems to be maybe like 4.5-ish, something like weeks ago kind of thing. But even that just feels like a lifetime compared to what's been happening around, around our state and the country and around the world right now. So touring just seems like a distant memory, all things considered, So.
Yeah, seriously. And it's even like, I know just from obviously from us being homies that you don't watch too much TV, but it's even like, I'm watching a show and I'm like, wow, those people are really close together. Like, what are they doing? And then
just things you wouldn't like consider, like you'd be so mindful of then that you are now, considering, now it's, maintain 6 feet distance if you can, like social distancing stuff, stay at home, like don't be in crowds of 10 or more. Don't even like, there's like even talks of just don't even be around people that often, which is so debilitating because, that's, humans are made to be interactive. We're supposed to be social. Like there's only so much you can do, like using, like, thankfully we have resources like what we're using right now, like with the internet, cameras, and going live for Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or something like that, so we have a means of getting by in the meantime, but it's just not the same compared to like actually going to a show, hanging out with your best friends, checking out some of your favorite bands, so.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that we take for granted, right? So it's hopefully, my hope from one takeaway that we have from all this is just, things are put into perspective a little bit for us, and we start to be a little more grateful, a little more appreciative of, just kind of the everyday things, and especially the things that even us as musicians and, people who are at our points in our career where we, get to tour fairly often, how much of, how special it is to be able to do that,
Yeah.
All right, Rad. So how's the quarantine really, been affecting you personally, man? Have you had to like change up your, obviously we've been changing up daily routines, but how's that affected you and the guys?
I mean, for the most part, like, I think I don't know if I want to speak for my other best friends and musicians out there, but outside of being on the road and on tour and stuff, I'm kind of a homebody. Like I kind of stay around home most times, like in between touring and like all the hobbies that I may have, so it doesn't feel too different. I'm just using this reason of like staying inside for sheltering, like to not really go out at all. I thankfully have been like fortunate enough to like I still got a functioning car. I'm like still like, I'm like able to go to the grocery store at least and drive around. But for the most part, things really haven't changed too much. I just barely go out now. I have means of which like I can still go outside. Like I have a dog. I don't know if you can see my dog down here or not. Anyways, I have a dog down here. I have a corgi named Milo, so we still go out for walks, and like I made like a workout like a bench press like squat rack area in the backyard. So I have means of which I can still go out and be like active and moving and that sort of thing. But I don't really leave a whole lot to begin with. So like for the most part, things really haven't changed too much. But because there's now the importance of like you should be staying at home, like don't like go out and get involved too hard, big groups, like public areas now, in terms of like picking up part of this virus and bringing it home with you. Now the pressure's on like, hey, just stay home, just be away, so using this as an opportunity to like just collect myself and be around like family and like work on some projects I may have been neglecting in the meantime, that I can finally put my attention to, and all sorts of things. So there's goods and there's bad stuff. So
yeah, cool, man. I mean, yeah, I totally feel that, and it's taking advantage of the time as much as you can to like make the best of it, right? To like work on yourself, work on your craft, work on something new. I know we're both kind of getting into the streaming thing, and thanks a ton to you for helping put me on to a bunch of shit that I wouldn't have known otherwise, to kind of get this thing rolling a little bit. So
of course.
Really appreciate it. Andrew took the time to jump on a Discord chat with me and walk me through some stuff and help me get the Twitch set up and all that good shit. So big thanks to you, man. So what tour did you have coming up, and how did this affect that run? Obviously,
we were supposed to do we were supposed to be direct support to Allegiant. They were going to go out and do a full like a full America, no Canada, but a full America headline tour this April now, and we should have probably been, I can't remember the actual like official date of when it started, but it was supposed to start very, very soon. That was supposed to be what's going to come up next for the Fallujah guys and myself. And then considering the last interview you had, Entheos was supposed to come out with us as well.
Yeah.
And we were really excited because we've known Entheos for a long time. Like the Legion boys have been, we've been friends with them for a very long time too. So it would have just been like another awesome, all the friends on tour together, like split the shows up for a month straight, you know, just all of April, no big deal, have a good time. So that's the one thing that did kind of get canned and canceled, postponed, however you may look at it.
Yeah. Hopefully postponed, man. Postponed.
Hopefully it's postponed, exactly. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled like wholeheartedly, but if it gets postponed, you know, they might be able to reunite it for the end of the year if things seem to dwindle down on, you know, flattening the curve. You know, there's obviously a worry about like flu season picking back up in fall and winter. So we'll have to kind of gauge and see. I know there's some big uncertainties with what the future and the rest of the year look like in regards to the quarantining and the pandemic and music in general, you know, artists like you and I go on tour. So we'll just have to wait and see. But we had plans to do that tour in April. Potential plans maybe to like, you know, try and travel to newer places we haven't been to before, like maybe Japan or South America or something or another, you know. So we had high hopes, but you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll be home, we'll be safe. Let's not, you know, get like a bunch of our crowds like involved. You know, I was talking to Riley from Legion just the other day, stating that depending on how bad this becomes or how bad it starts to climb, like he was gauging with like the promoters of the shows and stuff. Like it seems like everything's still going to go on just fine, but as the weeks went on, as the days went on, really, and new findings were happening. You know, findings were being acquired, like, and watching news and the United States government and the president and all that stuff. It just seemed like I was like, there's so many tours just getting canned and postponed and just canceled. I think it's just a matter of time before ours gets hits too, and I wouldn't have been surprised. So I think, in safe terms, you know, in all due respect, I'm kind of glad it got canceled with us being home versus like say it still continued on. We still tried to leave, start a tour that was kind of getting, you know, annihilated from all the quarantining and the social distancing stuff, and then being on the road for it to cancel, having to come back home, you know, that'd be very, very defeating. So at least of all reasons, of all times, it happened while we're here at home. So
yeah, that's you know, really lucky, man. You know, you could have been sitting on a way bigger merch bill. You know, who knows, you could have like re-upped in the middle of a tour and just been on a brand new, like ready to run through that shit in the last 2-3 weeks of a run, and then, you know, or and be on the other side of the fucking country and have to drive cross country through it all and shit. So certainly could have been worse. So I'm glad for you and the boys, you know, that there was the foresight there, obviously, from, you know, what was coming from the government too and everything, but you know, that agents and people realize like, okay, this shit's serious. We're not going to put our bands in jeopardy, and we're just gonna kind of wait this out. So, you know, unfortunate as well, but you know, like we said, it does give us some opportunities to do some other things. So what are you doing kind of to supplement in the meantime, man?
Well, I don't know, being a musician, trying to be a creative, you know, trying to engage in just like I said, activities I haven't really touched upon in a while, or I had my mind set on for a minute, but I just couldn't find the time, or I got lazy, or things would just take its place. I've been really trying to ramp up doing drum lessons, hopefully for affordable rates and stuff, and that's been going really well. I've been having like a much larger influx of drummers that want to just improve their chops behind a kit, whether that's like metal stuff or just technicality reasons, like involving like triggers and like pedals, basic and fundamental things, you know. So that's been really cool. Been like really diving in there. It's given me an opportunity to learn how to teach better, to instruct, to, you know, to pass information, set for an example, you know, like with students and interacting with people. So it's been really cool. Again, you know, the wonders of internet and social media, get to connect with them through the internet and just be at the comfort of my home and my garage where my kid is and my practice spaces. So
yeah, awesome. How do folks get in contact with you for a lesson?
I mean, man, all right, here we go. So I got a few, but direct one is my email,
Okay.
Bandrew4036 at yahoo.com. That's Bandrew. I know, no pun intended. Bandrew4036 at yahoo.com. That's my email. You can go email me directly, or you can try and find me on Facebook, on Instagram. Don't be afraid to just direct message me. I try to go through all my messaging filters very often to see if I have people inquiring about that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
which has been really, really awesome. But again, yeah, just a lot of new intake of students and fellow drummers that just want to improve. So I've been doing that. I kind of like a fitness dude at heart, so it has been kind of upsetting that I'm not able to go to a gym anymore. I mean, for the best reason, but
yeah.
I have, like I said, been trying to work out a lot more at home. Like, I've been lucky enough to have some gear, so I have like a barbell, I have bumper plates, I have dumbbells and that sort of thing. And I can just put them outside. I have like a half rack unit, so I can squat, bench press, and deadlift and that sort of thing. So I've been blessed in that area, which has been nice. So I've still been trying to retain my activity.
Cool.
Lately I have been jumping into, like you said, I've been trying to get into some streaming.
Yeah.
I'm super new to the streaming environment as a whole.
Same, dude.
I don't have the best equipment available to do it, but I'm just working with what I have, and so far it seems to work pretty well. So I'm trying to see if I can improve on that and take advantage of those resources as the years go on, or as this year goes on with the quarantine stuff. And then it's another way for me to just connect with other Fallujah fans or some of my best friends or other gamer friends of mine, or meet new people. So been really diving into like the Twitch environment and like watching my other friends stream who I've been doing for a while. Speaking of which, like another shout out to Riley. He's been streaming for, I think like 3 or 4 years now. I went to him for a lot of my my developmental stuff, like learning stuff involving Streamlabs OBS and like how to develop your Twitch page and paneling and design stuff and layouts and that sort of thing. So I've been going to him for resources. Shout out to him if he's ever gonna watch this. I'll probably just give him a call later or something.
Yeah. Why would he be?
Yeah, and like you said, like I'm honored. Thanks for coming to me to like get some of your streaming stuff like kind of taken care of or answered. Because back to the whole use your time wisely while in quarantine. This is a good time to try and see if you can develop some new skills or skills you were like, I want to do these, I just don't have the time, or things just seem to get in the way. Now might be the time, because a lot of time spent at home, can't really go out a whole lot. Time management has changed, so I'm trying to use this as a means of like, I don't want to be lazy and sit on my damn couch all day and just play video games. Like, no, I should try and like, keep myself busy in the home environment. So like I said, lessons, streaming, practicing stuff, like fitness outside, still going out to walk. There's still means of which you can take this to your advantage, like almost quarantining and sheltering and stuff. So
nice, man. Well, cool. Well, actually, we've got some movement going on in the chat, so I'm gonna check this out really quick. So my good buddy and TM extraordinaire Nick says, why aren't you streaming this from the band page? Nick, it costs more money to do that, so unless you're trying to front me, this is what we're doing.
Let's try to front me, dog.
Nate says, I had plans to play Magic the Gathering with Andrew, but those plans got postponed.
Nate, oh man, Nate, if you see this, I'm so sorry. Like I got so much I had to do today, and like I guess you can,
Nate, like, he's doing this, Nate. Come on.
Like I got to talk to the boy, Nate. I'll text you in a minute, man.
He'll make some time for you, dog. We got our homie Tim, X Within the Ruins, says, hi boys. What up, Tim?
What's up, man? How you doing, dude?
Haven't seen Tim in so long. I miss that guy, man.
I miss him too, man. Dude, I mean, actually, okay, sorry, Tim. Last time we talked, you tried to call me when I was trying to navigate on tour through like New York.
Oh no!
If you're watching this, bro, I'm so sorry. I'll give you a call back. I love you. I miss you. I didn't mean to blow him off. Like he was calling me like I was driving. It was all stressful. I was like, "Hey, please call somebody else." Like I got to drive right now. I kept doing it. So sorry, Tim.
We got some other homies watching. We got Stevie from Inferi and Equipoise hanging out.
Oh man.
Our old drummer Brent Phillips is actually in the chat. I know he's a big fan of yours, man. He's asking What are your three most listened to bands currently?
Mine in particular. Oh, okay. I'm a big Meshuggah guy. I'm not a pro polymorph, or polyrhythmic drummer, Thomas is, but I'd say Meshuggah is like one of my top five for sure.
Fuck yeah.
As far as like metal goes, yeah, Meshuggah's up the top. Gojira's a huge runner-up. Not for the sake of just like crazy technicality and drum prowess per se, but just like sheer heaviness, sheer vibe, sheer volume, and like musical like heavy quality, you know.
And Mario's an incredible drummer, man. Like, you know, maybe he's like you
Mario
said, it's not super tech, but like just
it's kind of funny how I say that too, because he does like drum solos live, and they're actually really like sophisticated like drum segments too, which I fathom a lot. Like, or like they're so interesting to me, and I'd say Mario is still in my top 10 favorite drummers of all time. Just
easy.
From sheer, just sheer skill and flexibility, and how he can transcend from like one type of musical drumming genre thing to another, So, yeah, Meshuggah, Gojira. I've been a big fan of Mastodon lately. Just good old, like all American metal, like hard rock. My list is huge on one of my favorite bands, top 5, top 3s. So there's so many to choose from. But if I had to choose like 3 right off the bat, those 3 for sure.
Word up. Nice. So if you guys have any other questions, anybody hanging in the chat, we'll be going through and trying and hit as many as we can. And we'll also be doing a merch giveaway. Andrew's going to choose somebody from the chat to win a free Abiotic tee, because I've got some sitting in my house. So we'll be doing that in a little bit. But all right, cool, man. So let's get into, you've got some drum covers. You've got one that's out already. You've got, I know you got some in the works as well. So I was checking out your Run drum cover. It's a Final Fantasy X song. Super dope.
Thank you.
So cool to just see all the different kinds of percussion that was used in that. And yeah, what was that like? Why Final Fantasy VII? Why choose to like kind of do drum interpretations of that music?
I've been a gamer like since I was a kid. Some of these games that I want to cover are like very near and dear to my heart. All my gaming friends out there will know that right now the Final Fantasy VII remake is about to drop this coming week.
Yes,
and
it is.
Due to like sheltering and quarantining, problems with like logistics and distribution, there's copies being sent out right now of the game. So it's a really exciting time for video games, because there's a lot of remakes happening, a lot of remasters. So I kind of sat on the idea of like probably about over a year ago now of one of the real reasons why I'm into music these days, and probably some of the reasons why I'm just into the type of drumming that I do now is because I've been gaming since I was a kid, and a big part of the gaming for me was the music, like orchestral drums, like big band stuff, like video game type rock bands and rock music sort of thing, So I kind of sat on this idea over a year ago, thinking like, man, like I'm trying to get into session work stuff, like on the side, helping bands out here in the Bay Area or something like that. But I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to just like maybe try some cover stuff, just to say that I did, And then quite literally when I was heading home on a drive from Sacramento from some friends' houses, I found that Square Enix put out all of their OG Final Fantasy game OSTs on Spotify. I think just to get ramped up and ready for all the new stuff that they're going to be making for 2020 and that kind of thing.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you can find all your favorite Final Fantasy games on there for sure. Like FF7, FF8, 9, 10, 15. You can find OG music from the original Final Fantasy.
Nice.
2, 3, 4. I think Tactics is on there. Anyway, so
shit.
I went scheming through there and like choosing all my favorite songs and making playlists. Like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. And my car has a pretty decent stereo system, so I'm always like engaging in like as much good music as I can in my car, like good tones and that kind of thing. So I ran through the FF10 soundtrack just out of like oh, pure nostalgia, I want to hear this. And I remember the first time playing the game as a kid, the very first battle theme, in this case is called the Run track. It's called Run in the original soundtrack. When I was a kid and I heard that track for the first time, this is when voiceover acting first came into play for an RPG game for Final Fantasy, and like a bunch of new mechanics and gameplay stuff. This song in particular kind of had like a pretty resonating sort of impact on me as a child. I was growing up in school, like I kind of grew up without a mother. She like passed away in '98, and I was kind of going through a lot of, you know, depressive stuff and like trying to get through school, and I wasn't doing well, and my mind and my growth wasn't in the right places. But gaming and music helped me get through that. And I remember this song, the run track, being like, oh my God, like when I first played the game and this track started, it gave me like goosebumps and made me feel like a certain way, like very empowering and like energized sort of thing. So when I heard this track again in my car over a year ago, I was like, oh my God, this track is like so good. Like I amped up, and I started like how all musicians kind of do, how drummers do, you know, we dissect the music we listen to, just listen to certain parts, learn certain, you know, mechanical things and whatever. And I remember like listening to that run track being like, I think I hear like wood blocky, like polyrhythms, like hitting in the background. And then something just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, I want to try and like cover this song, but not just on metal drums, like a full drum kit like mine. Like I want to do like percussion stuff too. Like I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but I actually grew up in Tahitian, Polynesian, like Tongan, Samoan, like Maori musical like culture as a kid. It was actually part of our family business. And you know, my mother, my father were really, really, you know, deep within this sort of culture, this sort of music, the family vibes, like just very feel good sort of music. And part of it is drumming.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I have these drums still in our home, like either in storage or just lying around. And as I heard this song, I was like, man, this sounds like some of the instruments I have here at home. Like, so I ended up like going home. I think that next day I went into our garage and tried to find some of these drums and just like kind of experiment with things and just test things out. End up bringing a few of them next to my drum set where my trigger module sits, and like playing like a thing, and then like plugging in my phone with the Spotify into our mixer. And I was like, man, like, you know what I'm gonna try and do? Like, even if I don't do more than what I'm trying to do right now, I guess, like, I wanna see if I can't like cover a song. Maybe I'll try and cover this one and see if I can't blend a few of my, you know, a few of my favorite things together. So I call that run playthrough I made the triple threat. It's a video game cover, it's a metal drum cover, and it has like it has my grassroots Polynesian, Tahitian like percussion that I grew up in. Because I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I want to do this from a place of, you know, love and a place for my heart, sort of thing. So
yeah, man,
let me just do a cover. Let me just have fun. Let me just go in the studio, get some good tones, just see what happens. And lo and behold, with, you know, all the crew that I worked with, shout out to Mike Monte, Cody, Steve, Rob Masters, like my crew, like we just were like, let's just film some cool stuff, do some panning shots, lighting, fog, let's get some actual drum tones from the studio, and then let's just make a video out of it. I was like, perfect, let's do it. Just gonna, you know, dude, let's just make it a thing. And then this is it. This is what it was. So
yeah, well, it came out super sick. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Even if you're like a fan of video games and video game music or not, it's real sick. It's got all kinds of different percussion, and that's like some great insight, man. I had no idea, you know, about that about your family. So that's super cool. And Shannon in the chat says your family rocks, and gives a little heart emoji. So
Shannon is my half sister.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, sweet, awesome, that's cool. Yeah, cool. I got family in here now too.
So Shannon says your family rocks. So, you know, by relation, she also rocks. So, you know, nice job, Shannon.
Nice job, Shannon.
So Stevie is asking a quick question. So he says, this one's for the both of you. What percentage would you say that your new albums are at currently? I don't know if you can even talk about that.
What percentage? Oh, the new albums. Oh, like the writing processes and stuff. I don't actually know a good percentage to lay out. I can't say like 50%, but we've been like, I know Fallujah has been writing the next album probably since last year. We just been brainstorming ideas, and Scott would go home and just like huge sessions of just writing stuff in front of his computer and saving things. He'll like cut out sections and send it to us for later so we can listen to it, or he'll like film a thing on his computer, like, look what I'm working on right now, you know, and it gets us like really juiced up for it. But I can't I can't put my finger on it. I can't figure out like how far along we are.
Yeah.
Again, being home and in quarantine and in shelter, like we're just trying to take advantage of our time spent. So I know Scott right now is just trying to bang out stuff, just tons of content and material to work with, so we can like come up with a good album to hopefully get done just honestly as soon as possible. So
nice.
Sorry, Stevie, I can't really give you an answer, man. But I mean, I don't know, if we play Magic later, I'll make sure to tell you.
So Stevie, so our answer or my answer for that, I think we're probably like maybe in the 80-ish% done. We're doing some tweaks on some final pre-pro stuff. Travis is doing his thing with the lyrics and the vocals, but I mean, he doesn't really count. It's like 2.5% maybe of the whole thing. So no, but we're going to be getting ready to get into the studio. I think it should still happen regardless of the Corona stuff. We should still be doing some tracking at least starting in May. So really looking forward to it. All right, we got some questions flowing in, so I think while we're doing this, we might as well just hit a couple more.
Yeah,
so Stephanie Carstairs, I wonder if there's a relation there to Scott. She says, "What's the first thing Andrew is going to do after the shelter in place is lifted?"
I don't know. Probably be anxious or nervous, because even if
that's fair.
That's so hard to tell, because even if the the shelter mandate stuff do get lifted and like, hey, we can go back out and be outside, like, hey, wonderful, because
yeah,
I'm gonna be outside. There's still, I don't know, I'd probably still be low key kind of worried and a little distant from people, maybe like my close friends, I might just try and go see them and be like, hey, I want to drive out to you, or hey, come by my house, or something. What I'll probably do? I'll probably end up like going for a hike or something like that. Like go outside, just be in nature and the weather and the sun, because being home obviously hinders that sort of ability to go on hikes with friends and that kind of thing. So maybe I'll do that if they get lifted. Hopefully it's during summertime and at least like the weather gets warm and I can do some morning hikes or something like that. So hopefully that answers the question. Otherwise, I'll let time like kind of like dictate itself and just be like, I'm gonna keep a little distant from like big crowds, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless you yourself, if you go on tour, my man, I will come out to the show, hang out, and be bros.
Likewise, man. I hope the first thing that I get to do after all this is go to a Fallujah show. I truly.
Okay. Shows in general. I'll make that
yeah.
exception. I like to go to shows for my best friends, locally or on the road. Like, you name it, man. You name it.
So Chemo Danielson says, "I know that dude. How's it, brother Andrew? Chio."
Chemo, what's up, brother? Hey, he drummed for my mom and dad's entertainment company, like,
oh, no way,
for Spirit of Polynesia. So Chemo, if you see this, man, how's it, brother?
Sick. All right, so Thomas says, Abiotic and Fallujah tour, please, once this shitty virus fucks off. Also, Abiotic and Fallujah are highly underrated bands. Thank you for making such beautiful and brutal music. Oh, well, thanks, Thomas.
Thanks, man. I know haven't we been discussing that for a long time too? Like, what the hell?
Like, since forever.
Yeah, I feel like we had like Abiotic and Fallujah had a tour offer like together at some point, or like a short list of something or another, and then it just like fell through. It would make sense. Like, I think we'd be complimentary to you, and you'd be very complimentary to us, depending on whoever's headlining or whoever we're like going out to support with or something like that. Like.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we were on some kind of short list where I think I hit you up and I was like, oh, maybe this might be a thing. And then, like if you're in a band and you hear something is a thing, it is 100% not a thing until the ad mat is out or the tour flyer is out and, the shows are booked and you have like contracts for the shows. If that doesn't happen, it's not happening. So that's if you're excited about something that you have going on, it's not going on until that happens. All right, so I'm gonna do one more from here, and then we'll kind of keep going. But it looks like we got somebody from Mexico, which is fucking so cool about this to be able to like chat with people from all over the world. So, hi from Mexico, guys. I told the guys at Fallujah I was going to see them at their show in LA from the tour with the Legion, but it got canceled, and I'm also stuck in Mexico because of COVID-19. But I hope to see you guys once all this situation goes away. And also, hopefully, one day Abiotic has a chance to come to Mexico. We would love to. So hopefully, one day. Metal community is small over here, but we sure appreciate every band that plays over here.
That's very awesome. That's very like I hope Abiotic gets the chance to go to Mexico, because when we went just shortly like a while ago, like he said, the community is a little bit on the smaller side, but it was so ferocious and like amazing. Like we loved touring Mexico, and we want to go back like so bad. Like we loved it, man. It was such a good time.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, I it definitely been on our to-do list to get down there, and we've heard all kinds of shit about how crazy the shows are out there and how awesome the fans are. So, really, yeah. Once all this craziness subsides, hoping to get down there. Hopefully on this next album cycle. All right, cool. So I think that's a pretty good segue into some tour questions. So we were talking about it a little bit before, but I personally on tour try and get into a routine as much as I can, even if it's like just little things. So like I'll wake up and have my smoke, and then it's time to go find some coffee, and then it's if I'm we're loading in, and then it's maybe it's some alone time, because you're cooped up in a van with 5 or 6 other dudes sometimes, and sometimes you gotta like get away for a little bit, maybe go see a site depending on where you are. I definitely try and find some ramen wherever I'm at, see where I can find the fucking best ramen. And then obviously get my warm up on and stuff. So what's a tour routine kind of look like for you?
Let's see. So I agree on the coffee thing. Like depending on whether we just did a night drive or we're rolling into town in the morning, or we just leave a friend's house to go to the next show. One of the first things we do, I know when we show up, because most of the time we try and show up at a reasonable time to just be present or something like that. If there's time to kill before our load in, which is, typically 2 or 3 o'clock or 3:30 or something like that, then we'll find a means of which like, hey, let's get some daytime espresso or daytime caffeine or whatnot, because we could use the energy, because we've been, we're on tour, man. Like it's hard, dude. Like after like day in, day out, like especially the further into a heavy big tour you go, like you need all the resources you can get to like stay afloat. So I like to like, if I'm driving in the early morning and we do like a nighttime, like night drive kind of thing, like early morning stuff. Yeah. Early morning coffee, espresso. I love iced coffee. I've been doing this thing. The last few tours I did, I was doing this combo of like iced cold brew, but then you add like a little sugar-free vanilla and heavy whip, so you get some fats.
Okay.
So good. I do that. I am trying to do like for the past 3 or 4 or 5 years, I've been, for the most part, sticking to intermittent fasting. So I'll try and do some of that on the road, mostly for the sake of convenience. Like I said, we're always on the go. We got to get somewhere really fast, and travel like long distances. So I'll probably not eat anything until noontime locally, wherever we may be, kind of thing, and depending upon time frames and how much time I got to get, like to set up gear and set up stage and store stuff, like I'll probably eat my first meal like 12 or 1 or something.
Wow.
Usually before I go up and play, I'll try and get warmed up for about 30 minutes, just hand things or like practice pad or just hitting a pillow or something like that, just to get my wrists like kind of in motion. If I'm feeling extra like spicy about myself or whatever, I'll bring weights and gear with me from home. Like, so I'll try and do like a workout before I go up to like get my mind thinking like, oh, I'm about to do like a lengthy 2-hour workout. So let me just hit some weights for a bit, and then our set's like 45 minutes long. So I'll just do that, like weight lifts, and then I'll go and do my set, and then boom, I'm done. Kind of like, I'll try and keep those healthy, fitnessy and food related habits if I can, and then, depending on time, like I said, just small stuff. Like lately, the whole Magic the Gathering thing I've been into, like I'll bring cards with me from home. Like Rob Morey plays as well. So we'll bring our decks with us. Sometimes other members in other bands will have cards, and we'll like try and get in contact with them, be like, hey, if you play bring some decks, man. Let's play and stuff like that. It gives us more reasons to like hang out with the homies on the other tour or the other bands, and then give us like another activity that we can kind of engage in outside of just the hardships of tour life and touring, like playing shows.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good disconnection. Did you ever have anybody like surprise you that they like brought their deck and you were like, "What the fuck? You play Magic?"
Yeah, yeah. Fans actually would just reach out to me that day of, or even like before the tour is like about to begin. They'll be like, "Hey, man, like I'm gonna come out to your show." Someone I might not even have met ever. I don't even know personally would just casually reach out to me, and be like, "Hey, man, I know you play Magic. Like I was gonna bring some decks," and I'm instantly like, "Oh my god, yeah, bring your decks, dude! Like if we get a chance, like, and there's time allowed, let's totally get a game in and you know play some rounds and connect or something, you know." So
Magic for you is like smoking weed for us.
Yeah. Because I don't, you know, it's kind of like I'm sure you're familiar, but Magic the Gathering is deemed as like a funny nickname of cardboard crack. It's just,
totally.
I know it's like fantasy and, you know, like fantasy sci-fi gaming. It's like the longest existing card game out there, like fantasy wise, you know. So
yeah,
when you start really diving in, it's like you eventually get really addicted and you're just like, oh man, the next set of this really powerful card, or like my deck's like running a cool way, you know. So
yeah, I first saw somebody play Magic. I must have been like 12 or something. So 18, almost 19 years ago now. It was a step uncle of mine, and he like showed me how to play. And then in middle school, I met some dudes who played too. I think I was like in 6th grade or something like that. And then I just kind of played on and off ever since. And then I got back into it a little bit, maybe like want to say like 6 to 8 years ago now or something. I probably played a little bit in high school with my buddy, and then always just had like a deck at home for whenever my one buddy who played like came into town, like whenever he was visiting his parents from school or something. We're just like, dude, we're just gonna play Magic for like fucking 6 hours while you're visiting.
So, like that sounds so weird to many people, but like to me that sounds like so much fun.
It's dope. If you've never played Magic, you know, now is probably not the best time to get into the paper Magic.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, you've got a workaround for that, right?
Yeah. So a thing that something I've been like it's been possible before the quarantining, obviously, but because of now these shelter mandates and staying home. Fans and players of the Magic the Gathering card game have found ways to stream it live, or just stream amongst their friends by getting like crafty setups and like positioning cameras a certain way, so that way the camera shows the playing field where their cards are laid out, and then connecting through like Messenger or Skype or FaceTime or Discord, you know, or even Zoom. And it's like another way to play essentially a game that, you know, that you need to be social for, but in the comfort of your own home with friends halfway across the country, halfway across the world, or down the street, you know. So I've been doing a lot of that lately with some close friends. Again, shout out to Stevie and Nathan and Alex Cohen if he's watching this or something, you know. Like there's ways of doing it that just involve, you know, not a whole lot of gear, maybe just your cell phone and just like a laptop or your camera on your desktop or something, and just creativity. And you'd be surprised like how easy it is to just get some games started playing paper Magic over the internet with your friends, like far away from each other. Like it's totally possible, man. And I'm so glad I'm doing it now, because again, now there's like another way for me to connect with people who play the game, who maybe like Fallujah, you know, like who like the music I'm a part of, or something. Like another way to just interact with people and meet someone and play games and be social. And you know, that's what we need these days. Is we need to social distance, yes, but that doesn't mean to be, you know, you don't need to be mentally distant or emotionally distant either.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to play Magic with Andrew, hit his fucking line.
Hey, hit me up. Seriously. I don't play competitive Magic, but I play casually. It's fun. And
he's being humble. He's real sick at Magic.
Yeah, I can bring some heat, man. I can hang. Like I'm not amazing, but I can hang. just hit me up.
Cool, man. So, what, if you can think of, I know, something else we were talking about before too, that it's like, unfortunately, when you've been doing it for, I think you've been doing it for longer than I have. And, when you've been doing it for as long as we have, tours kind of start to like blend together, and like even tour moments kind of start to blend together. It's like, oh, that one time that this happened, that was really cool, but fuck, what tour was that on? Who was I with? Where were we at?
I'm so bad at that.
So bad. You're so bad, so that's great. So with this next question, I'm going to ask you exactly a specific moment. What, do you have like a favorite tour moment, or like a favorite tour you were on, or?
Let's see. I do have a favorite tour moment, a pretty big one that doesn't even involve the shows. Okay. I remember one time, I think it was the Beyond Creation tour we just did kind of recently, or maybe even we did like a support tour with like Carnifex. So I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Beyond Creation tour. But I did a night drive. God, if I can remember it. My favorite moments, I think, are when I'm gonna get like real soft for a second.
Yeah, do it.
I night drive a lot, and probably one of my favorite elements of doing night drives, just something to look forward to in the midst of all the grinding and the chaos of tour life, is I like sometimes driving till sunset. Sunrise, to see the sun come up. And I remember one specific part of, I think, the Beyond Creation tour we did. I did a night drive. We were kind of out in, I think it was like Idaho, lower Idaho, somewhere or another.
Somewhere flat.
Yeah. I think we were driving through, it's like called Goblin Crags National Monument or something like that. Sweet. I can't remember. If I can find the name, I'll see if I can try and put it into the comment section and below. But
yeah,
something about like Goblin Crags National Monument or something like that. These like massive, like huge stone crags coming out. They're jutting out in an angle, and it makes this crazy, large spine mountain range looking thing. Sick. And we had to drive through there during our route. And we were hitting sunrise. It was like brutally cold out. There's like no snow, but it was like the brisk 15 degrees out kind of thing, I remember we had to go through them, and I just remember thinking like, man, like this all looks like a video game, like right here. Like I feel like I'm in like an RPG and I'm doing like the world map traveling or something like that. So I was like ripping Final Fantasy VII tracks and like RPG music, like just to get in the zone and feel good about it, And I remember pulling over and being like, man, like, playing shows and big crowds and just rambunctious pits and, good sets and stuff. That's all great too, man. But like moments like this, I think that was like a very cherishing memory that I have. Nice. Because, I don't need tons of chaos and tons of like all the people liking my stuff or like the big shows, the big mosh pits. Like sometimes I just need to see some nature and just be out like in the midst of all of it, kind of away from the chaos, like, understanding that we're just little specks on planet Earth. Like maybe our lives, don't merit so much need from people, but moments like this is like a rejuvenating, like I know why I'm out here. Like these are reasons why I'm out here. So I can see stuff like this and bring home memories like of my travels around the world outside of just shows, like this is why I'm here, what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's kick-ass, man. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely share the sentiment, and like, a lot of my stick out tour memories are also, obviously the shows and meeting great people and stuff, but also just, the sights that we get to see, you know what I mean?
Seeing the world, just seeing Earth.
Yeah, like being in Switzerland and just like standing with your boys on the top of a mountain and just like mountains all around you.
Yeah, castles, going to museums or going to like certain landmarks that you're like, I don't think I'd ever imagined going here, but touring has brought me here.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful to be here right now, because I think without touring, let's be honest, you and I probably wouldn't have been able to see a lot of this stuff around Earth, around Europe, United Kingdom, America, Canada, Japan, Mexico, Australia, so blessings, man. Like we're lucky to be doing like that, like what we did, like
legit. Yeah. That's, again, it's something that you can easily start to take for granted. And it's just like, like anything, it can kind of turn into a job and into a grind. But if you stay like, if you you stay in a certain perspective of like, you know, who else is getting to do this? It's a small.
Exactly. I'm just happy to be here. Like, I'm just so glad to be doing this, you know, meeting people and seeing the world and having memories I'm going to take with me to my grave, you know, like sharing with people and stuff, stories. That's the makings, or that's the, what do you call it? That's what a true bard is. Technically, what you and I are, we're kind of like modern day bards. So
that's a good point. And you know, so hopefully we don't turn into the jaded dudes that we tour with sometimes.
No. I hope not. No, I will. You know, punch me in the face if I ever start acting like that. Seriously.
Same, but you're also like way bigger than me, so don't punch me.
No. I will never. No, I don't throw. I ain't throwing no punches, man. I might hit a bag or something, but I ain't doing that.
Cool, man. So, what's one thing like in your tour bag, your tour suitcase that maybe people might not expect that you have in there?
I don't know. Is that really possible with how much access we have to the internet nowadays?
I guess that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I have anything I don't know if I can hide anything anymore. Except maybe like a bad haircut or something. I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's really hard to like narrow down. I think with access to like social media, following your favorite artists, following your favorite musicians or creatives or entrepreneurs, like, you know, a lot of that is at your very fingertips right now. I don't know if I have like tons to hide. Like, how would you be able to answer like something like that? I'm actually kind of stumped, honestly.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it, and as the question came out, I was like, do I have an answer for that question? I think what's something in my bag that people might not expect? You know, Uno cards maybe. So we in the band we play Uno sometimes in the van. So or at the venue or something like that. On the last tour, it might be a like maybe quarter-filled water bottle, because we were at the merch tables on the Suffocation run. We were trying to do like the bottle flip. And just,
God.
And just,
that's so funny.
We're getting everybody, like, you know, all the crew from Suffo, like just people coming up to buy merch, like, oh, see if you can do this and we'll give you like $5 off.
Doing a flip?
Like, yeah, try and do the flip or something. So keeping one of those handy. I keep my Switch on me.
Okay.
You know, have been bringing that with me on the last couple of runs that we did. And yeah, you know, some people might not think that guys like us like play video games and shit on the road. So
you'd be quite surprised, my friend.
Cool, man. All right. So I think on the touring side, we also talked about to see if you can ballpark. How many shows do you think you've played?
Collectively, like being in Fallujah, like sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. However, you know, even like maybe if you want to think pre-Fallujah, but I think, you know, narrowing it down even to Fallujah is probably going to be a little bit of a challenge for you. But
if I could put like an estimated number of how many shows, like overall I've played, just with Fallujah alone, oh man, I think
you got to be in the 1,000 club at least, right?
I think so, man. If you can imagine like a standard 6-week tour, usually like a 6-week tour, like of our caliber, you and I, you know, we might have like a few days off somewhere in there. So if you play a show almost every day for standard 6-week tour, that's like 40, like between 35 and 42 shows right there, you know, give or take like a few extra here and there, or maybe like routing shows to get to and from the tour.
Yep.
So if you can imagine like a few of those big tours per year, plus like some festival runs in Europe, which are generally like a week or two, you know, like no days off certain thing or whatever, one-off shows in Mexico, or like a week in Japan, a week in Australia. Yeah, I want to say I'm around the 1,000 mark. I think we're around the 1,000 mark, like altogether. I've been in Fallujah since almost quite literally since the very beginning. Like, once the band was formed, I think I joined like 6 months later or something like that. And that was way back in 2007 during our high school days. And
oh man.
I've only ever actually had to miss, I think like one tour, two tours. Oh yeah, I had to miss like a couple tours back in 2012 for like some health reasons. But I've done every other tour though, so I think I want to say I'm like there, like I think around the thousand mark, something like that.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I was remembering one thing I did want to ask you too that I don't think when we if you guys are hearing my husky right now just like howling up a storm.
I'm trying to wait and see if your husky gets my dog like riled up. Like,
Yeah.
he's like over there in the other room like napping now, but sometimes when he hears other dogs, he's always like, who's that?
Who's
Are you
that?
beating on me? You know, like.
She's trying to get my attention. I'll bring them on the stream at some point when I get a cat.
Yeah, bring your dog on the stream. Yeah.
You can probably see a tail wagging over. But yeah, I did have a question that I don't think I ever got to ask you guys. So when I started listening to Fallujah like way back, I think it was even before you guys started like touring like full time. You guys had put out, I think, Harvest Wombs, and it was someone told me like, oh, yeah, those guys are going to be real big, but everybody's in school right now, so everybody's waiting until they like get their degrees to then go tour. Is that true?
I mean, those were like partially, like we were all kind of ending high school, starting college. I think before for sure, and during the time of like our Harvest Room cycle and stuff, I know we were trying to get involved with touring in and around part of our school schedules, like college schedules specifically. So whatever we can kind of get our hands on during like spring break, even though it's like only a week long, we try to do stuff like that too. Winter break was a big one. Christmas, New Year's sort of period of time, I remember a couple times we've actually toured through like Thanksgiving. Just whatever. Summertime is obviously the big one, anywhere from like early mid-May out into like August, September, October sort of thing. So we try to mitigate time spent on the road while still being able to still kind of go through our college years and like have it not dwindle too much. Like I know we did the best that we could, and I remember back in the time Alex was going to SF State. Like I was going to Diablo Valley College. It was like a community college close to my home here in East Bay, California. And then Scott was like going to, I think it was like Cal State East Bay, and like we were just like trying to figure out ways of which like how can we tour pretty often while not totally botching our school semesters or just not even signing up at all. So. Right. With the scaling that gets involved with the band, it's doing pretty well for the tour lifestyle, more tours end up coming your way. They start getting larger. So thankfully, the way we were kind of like getting into the tour life while still doing college, it seemed to start escalating more as we were kind of coming to the end of our college years. So
that's great.
We kind of got blessed and like got lucky in that sort of realm, so to speak, I know some other bands aren't like so lucky and they end up like waiting until they're done with college, and they'll just kind of do, at home projects or at home recordings involving the band that they're doing. So they'll at least like try and make some material at home or put out an album or an EP, but maybe save the touring on the back burner until they can find the big breaks, like in summertime or like the winter break or a week-long spring break tour or like a weekend warrior thing, just three shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just come right back home in time for school or something, So
sorry to know, was that with the idea to like have like a backup plan, like a just in case kind of thing, or was it just like our parents are telling us like you better get a fucking degree, or like what was the thought process of like making
it was kind of like a mix. It's like a mix of the two. It's like, oh, we should probably have like some sort of backup plans, like I should go to college for some sort of skill set, but then also like parents were nagging like go to college, I still wanted to like serve the well wishes of my family, say for the rest of my band members and stuff. But then also like, they recognized too that like this band element thing that we were doing, this high school band and our concerts and stuff like that. No, it was becoming a real, music engine. So, they were like, well, we're stoked you're at least doing this, get to see the world, get to leave and like see what, music is like in the professional business. And like, so they were excited. They were still, like I said, we've been kind of lucky and like we grew up in the right environments where our parents were like, you should go and tour, you should go like make a band and get into music and stuff. Like just go see what it's like. As long as you're like happy and you're not killing yourself or like killing other people or something, like you're not doing harm to yourself, like go do it. Like do it now while you're young.
Yeah.
And you have the time frames for it, because as you get older, you probably won't have time to be doing it as often. Like living, bills, like ending college life and your jobs or something, moving, getting married, having kids one day, you know, like these things add up after a period of time. So best to do these things now as you're young, when you have all this energy ready to go. Give it a shot. Just see what happens. Just even say that you even did it. You know, it doesn't even have to be your full-time full-time like gig sort of thing. Just go out and experience it. Just to see what it's like, you know. Like at least I'm a firm advocate, and you should try and see what it's like just once in your life. Just to get an experience and say that you did it. And then again, the experience will yield more results for the rest of your life, like as you get into other career paths and like meeting people and being social and, you know, and work and money and creativity and music, you know, like you should try it. You should give it a shot, you know? So our parents, and thankfully were like, yeah, we want you to go to college, but go tour too. Like just go fucking do it. You know, like you don't have much time on earth, you know, like spend this time wisely. My dad's a firm advocate of like, get your eggs in the order they need to be, you know, but also like, go see the world now, because if you try to see the world later, which you can, you might not have enough time to do so. You know.
And that shit will shape. You know, especially, you know, if you do it early, it does kind of shape who you are. You know, as an adult, like, you know, it gives you certain perspectives. It allows you to see, you know, even if you're just touring in the U.S., see different cultures, see what it's like to be out of your comfort zone and just somewhere completely different. And you know, it's obviously difficult, right? It's difficult to get those things lined up to make that stuff happen, but it
could be well worth the effort, though.
You
might be quite surprised, like how a thrilling adventure it might end up being. You know, yeah, man.
But yeah, you'll be like Tiger King, and like, I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I haven't even watched any of his Tiger King, whatever it is.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. I will admit that I did watch it, and it was hilarious and insanity. So if you're looking for, I don't know, to turn off your brain for a little while and just kind of sit somewhere with your jaw open, wondering how people like that exist. Something you can do, but I probably would not recommend it because you're a productive guy with a good head on his shoulders.
Okay, I'll probably watch, like, how many episodes are out? Is it just one, or is it like
so it's like a doc, but it's like 7 or 8 episodes or something like that. It's not very long, but it might be worth it just so you can follow the memes, because the memes have been top notch.
Okay. There have been memes everywhere, and I just look at them right now because I haven't watched it yet, and I'm like, I don't get any of this shit. I'm just gonna
scrolling past that bullshit.
Yeah, I'll make the effort to watch the first episode soon. I just see it everywhere, and I'm like, do I want to really like get down this rabbit hole? I don't know, quarantine life, right? These are quarantine things. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool, man. Well, let's talk about the last Fallujah record, which I absolutely loved. I'm going to throw up the cover now. It's Undying Light. So, like I said, I got to see you guys a couple of times during this cycle, and you guys jammed these songs and sounded fantastic. You know, loving Ant and all the great stuff he's doing now.
Yeah.
How you know, tell us a little bit about that record and how you're feeling about it.
It's fun, honestly. Like, I think you and I can agree that whenever a band puts out a brand new album, you can tell this is how they've mentally been associating themselves with the music they've been making lately. So, Undying Light is kind of like Fallujah's current moment in time in our writing musical, like, creative processes. Like, these were, when we were making these songs, this is how we were feeling on like a musical element, on an emotional scale, like on a creative side of things, you know. So there's fire in here. I really like. Kind of like to go back to the playthroughs that I'm trying to do. I did drop both a Glass House playthrough and a playthrough of Eyes Like the Sun. Two songs on that album I really like for just the sheer, obviously, drum ferocity and blasting and being fast and, you know, aggressive and stuff. But there's like, I want to even say, like, in Undying Light, there should be a song in here for everyone. Like, someone could go into this album and I don't know if I enjoy this one song, but I like this one a whole lot. You know, like, there's something I think in there for everyone. And that's kind of like what Fallujah's, you know, like under the table has been kind of like all about. We want to make sure our fans have something they can kind of connect with, something they can pick and choose from this new album or previous albums, like, you know, specific songs or whole blown albums or like a certain EP they like really enjoy, you know. So I like Undying Light a ton. And again, you know, with each new album comes the opportunity for more creativity and inspiration for the albums that come after too. So this is another segue into, I'm hoping, you know, like you'll not bear with us, but like, I hope you'll enjoy what we come up with next, because everything is a work in art, a work in progress. We'll improve with things, we'll add things, we'll keep things we knew we liked. We might stop doing certain elements, you know, like, I love Undying Light a lot. You know, Glass House, Eyes Like the Sun, The Ocean Above, that last track we have, Departure. It's so good. I honestly want to even play, like, I want to play these songs live at that point, you know. But we had a good time making it. Mark Lewis we went to for drums. Shout out to him if he ever watches this. We were like, Scott would do like a lot of like the recording of the guitars and the bass like on his own means, but we went to Mark for drums and for the vocal stuff. And,
sick. Okay.
And you know, shout out to Antonio, like if he's hanging out watching this right now, but he's the man. We're glad we have him as our vocalist now. He's got an incredibly crazy, cool range. His stage presence is really, really interesting and new to us, you know? So
he's a killer frontman, man.
Yeah, he really is. And he's always been like a longtime friend of ours too. Just from like way back, like back in our high school days even.
Yeah.
And we started to like branch out into like the Central Valley music scene and stuff. So it just feels like we've always had like it's kind of weird to say, but Antonio's always felt like we've always had him in the band this whole time, you know, like, so just another good close friend kind of thing, you know, like just doing the band thing and being our vocalist. So he kills it. Like we're really happy with how Undying Light came out. I'm really happy with how it came out, like drum wise, you know, another platform for creativity and just trying new things and you know, and of course going back to the fan base, we wouldn't be who we are without our fans. So
yeah,
thank you guys for supporting us and enjoying everything we've done about it, you know. So I know we got more in the works and it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited for this next one. It's gonna be a good time, man.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm super excited for it too, man. And yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed that there was you know, there was a lot of variety in the songs, and I'm sure, you know, just like I guess I can say, you know, speaking for myself, but I'm sure you can relate too. You know, some bands are kind of about putting out the same record every time they do a record, and some bands aren't. We're not one of those bands, and I feel like you guys aren't one of those bands. And you know, I think, you know, we're not necessarily conscious of it. We're not necessarily like, oh, we're trying to put out something totally different than we did last. But it's like you said, it's a timestamp of where we are as musicians, and you know, guys like us, I feel like, are ever evolving with our tastes, with our you know, how we approach our instruments, you know, improving on our instruments, and that's always gonna you know, result in, you know, some different music, and we're gonna want to you know, check out some different go down some different avenues, you know what I mean? And
exactly
killer, dude. Well, hope that new Fallujah is coming out soon, because I would love to hear it.
I would love to too.
That being said, we're gonna get a little bit more into Undying Light next week when Scott comes on, so we'll kind of get probably into some more technical aspects, and him and I can talk some guitar on the first the Big Shred podcast. Sweet. So maybe you want to give a shout out to some of the companies that you're using some of their gear.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have a lot. I've got a few. Just you know, shout out to Saving Symbols. They've been helping provide my like cymbal needs finally, which has been nice. I'm endorsed by Los Cabos Drumsticks. They've been helping me out for at least 4 or 5 years now, something like that, you know. So shout out to Phil if he ever sees this. Like big help, drum company from Canada, you know. And then
killer.
Big, like especially big shout out to Foot Blasters right now. They have distribution and their manufacturing like facilities in Italy right now, and I'm still able to chat with. His name is Christian. I've still been chatting with Christian on and off on the phone, just not even for the means of like, hey, can you just send me some new Foot Blasters because I'm burning through mine. It's more like a, hey man, are you doing okay? Like everything involving Italy right now is pretty god awful, and we're about to experience a lot of that here in America. Like, okay, how's your family? So I've been chatting with him for a little bit here and there, and being like, hey, I know life seems kind of grim right now over there, but like I've got playthroughs coming out I'll link you to. Like, don't be afraid to keep in contact with me, you know. So shout out to them, because he sent me a package from Italy like a week and a half ago of just a few pairs of brand new Foot Blasters for me just to have. And I'm like you didn't have to do that, because like, you know, there's not chaos, but there's like dread. There's death happening in Italy, and you know, you still found the time to send me gear. Like I'm kind of flabbergasted and taken back. So, you know, big shout out to Foot Blasters for still coming through and giving me like quality gear, man. That's
a good artist relations guy, man. That's awesome.
Seriously,
hang on to that guy, dude.
I will. No, you know, shout out to Christian if he's watching this too, you know. But yeah, just a few, you know. I'm hoping with whatever new changes may happen this year, as the quarantines may get lifted and the curve starts to get bent down and the pandemic slowly begins to wither away, we go back to, I can't even say we'll go back to normal. Like, because we're not going to go back to normal after all this. Like, new things are going to happen, new things are going to change, like new ways of living, hopefully more greener, you know, economic, eco-friendly ways of living now too, you know. So we'll see. But I have hope that coming into summertime and later this year, depending upon how everything goes, like this will be a really cool, interesting time to see creativity flow and like people coming out with new content, getting on the internet and sharing their creative environments, so their creative you know, opportunities and music and arts and film and media. This is, even though this is a really weird time, this is actually a really good time to work on yourself. Like, try and improve like other elements of your life you may have been neglecting for a while. Now you have the time to do so. Like, see what happens, see what you can do in the midst of all this. You know, I'm trying to take full advantage. I know you're definitely trying to take full advantage.
Trying, man, trying.
So, like, with that, I hope everyone's going to be okay. I hope everyone's going to be safe and like hygienic and wash their hands. And, you know, just, this is all going to end at some point. Just for now, we got to hunker down and we'll be okay. Just connect with everybody, spend time with your family, with your loved ones if you get the access to, you know, and we're going to be fine. We'll just get through this just fine, and then we'll move on. So,
you heard the man. Fucking wash your hands, stay inside, work on yourself. Try and be
nice about it. Be like, fucking wash your hands, man.
Try and be better than you were yesterday, man. And even if that's in your house, you know, it's still possible. So definitely so follow Andrew on Twitch. So where are you at on Twitch again?
I got a few handles. So twitch.tv/Sigma Caldera. I'm going to start streaming at least video games just for fun. Come and hang out maybe a few times a week. Right now I'm still staying Monday and Saturday evenings. I'll try and do Wednesdays as well. But yeah, twitch.tv/Sigma Caldera. If you want to try and follow my new drum engine project, I'm just calling it Caldera Drums for right now. I have a YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Caldera Drums. That's where I'll be throwing a lot of my drum collective projects, like playthroughs for bands I'm doing, Fallujah stuff, the video game covers I'm trying to like dive into. I'm gonna throw it all in there. We'll see how the year goes, so I can try and get some more content out. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Sigma Caldera. You'll find me right there. I'm on Twitter at Sigma Caldera. Caldera is spelled Caldera. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I'm trying to be out there. Trying to be out there. And we'll see
Awesome.
what happens. You know.
Well,
So
hit your boy up on all of those platforms. Check out Fallujah. Listen to Undying Light. Go buy their merch. Take a drum lesson with your boy over here.
yes, please hit
Um,
me up. I would love to meet you. Let's work on some cool things together and have a good time. My lessons are. I think I'm a fun guy to hang out with. So I'm all about vibes and just learning some cool things. And I keep things simple, just very simple. So don't be afraid to hit up your boy.
yeah, hit him up. Play Magic.
Yeah,
And
bring it on. If you play Magic, come on, man.
all right,
Oh,
dude. Well, thank you so much again for coming on, for helping me get all this shit started. I had a whole lot of fun. I hope you did too.
dude, thank you. Thank
yeah,
you so much for bringing this on. I'm glad to see you're doing this right now and giving more musicians some limelight during this crisis, this mandate, these quarantines, So really
yeah,
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
absolutely, man. It's a tough time, and if it's not like I've got a huge platform or anything, but with the little platform I do have, figured, if I've got the time, helping the homies out is something that I, it's just a no brainer. It's like I should be doing this, right? So
Should be doing this. Yeah, exactly.
awesome, dude. Well, again, thanks so much for coming on. Maybe drop your links in the chat whenever you get a minute so folks can
I
check you
will.
out. I hope you guys
Yeah.
enjoyed the interview with Andrew. And, dude, I will catch you on the flip side.
Okay. Maybe I'll catch you at the magic table sometime soon.
There you
too.
go. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. And then on tour, and then, just whenever I'm up in your area and we can just like hug whenever hugs are a thing again.
I miss hugs. I miss my friends. I'm chatting with everybody, but I miss my friends. I miss my friends and my loved ones. So
Yeah, man.
it'll come. It'll happen. Just sit tight. Everything's gonna be okay. We'll get there.
All right, dude. We'll hang soon. Take care.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Appreciate it.
Later. All right, guys. Well, thanks a ton for hanging with Andrew and myself tonight. Again, I'm going to be doing streams every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern with a different guest, or sometimes multiple guests. So, again, next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, going to be on with Scott Carstairs to kind of continue the Fallujah saga, if you will. And I'll be on with Dan DeFonce, who is a booking agent, label VP extraordinaire. So he is on, he works with Continental Touring and as well Unique Leader Records. So looking forward to talking with those dudes next week on The Big Shred. Until then, I've been John. Stay the fuck inside, wash your hands, do everything the CDC tells you to do, and hopefully I will get to see you guys on the next stream or at a show. Have a good night, everybody.